Hey guys, I know it's been a while, my bad for the infrequent posts, I guess, but it's recently come to my sort of attention that like more of you guys want to know how I sort of train, and like what I do in specifics. So I guess this is maybe going to be like the start of me showing you guys. I think in the 2 years that I've had so far of lifting, I've learned like a decent amount of things that like have helped me personally, and I think it will help you guys as well. Do keep in mind that part of the reason for why I look the way I do is also because I've been sort of gifted with better than average muscle building genetics. But I don't think that should discourage you guys, because truly if you do try hard, you will see results. And if you do like train well, eat well, unless if you have like really poor genetics, which I doubt any of you guys have, you will see progress. And yeah, I think since we're all just after bettering ourselves, you don't need amazing genetics to do that. So yeah, don't let it discourage you guys. And I think today I'll probably walk you guys through some of the stuff that I've learned for arms, and I hope it can help you guys with growing those meaty arms as well. So yeah. Okay. All right, guys, we're at the arc now. I'm with Pragadish. This is hopefully it catches it in the shot. Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna show you guys what I do for arms. Okay, so the first exercise I probably do a lot for arms is incline curls. So you want to set your bench like a little farther back after straight up. So this would be straight up. You want to set it like a little farther back. Don't set it to like 45 degrees or anything lower, because really it just puts your shoulder in like a uncomfortable position that could lead to injury. So you really don't need the bench to be that much farther back to work your biceps effectively. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to voice over this portion because the audio was sort of ass, but basically just make sure your elbows are sort of behind your body and they stay in that position. You curl them up. You want to tilt your pinkies like I'm showing here, like tilt them in like that, and you slowly let them come down. Once they're straight, flex your tricep to make sure they are, and then just go again. Okay, so another exercise I do for my arms that I found really beneficial are Skullcrushers. I tend to like to do them with dumbbells, and I'll walk you guys through some of the common mistakes I see for like why people feel like elbow pain and some of that stuff when they're doing these, and they don't really feel it in their triceps. So first I'll go through a bad example of what it would look like. Yeah, so in the bad example, when they lay down, their head might not be at the edge of the bench, which is where you want it to be. And then even if it is, sometimes they'll have their elbows flare out like this, and then they won't go deep enough into the movement, and then they'll just try and force it up with momentum. So what you actually want to do is what I'm going to show here. So keep your elbows in, don't flare them. Let your shoulders actually come back here. So don't keep your elbows stacked like that. Let them relax and let the weight come a little further behind your head. This will make you feel it less in your elbows. And then when you're doing the reps, you actually want to stop them at eye level, like I'm showing here. You don't want to pull them any further up because you lose tension on the triceps when you do. So yeah, just let them come behind your head. Stop right where your eye level is, and then go again. One of the other bicep exercises I do to see good growth is rope curls. So these you want to set at the very bottom of the cable machine, and then these are going to target more of your brachialis muscle. So it's going to be sort of on the side, so you're going to have, it's like for a thicker bicep. When you curl like this with a neutral grip, it targets it more versus you'll hit your bicep more if you have a supinated grip, or where your hands are facing upwards. Again, sort of poor audio. So what I'm saying is that when you want to curl here, it's just like the previous curls. You want to keep your elbows close to you. You curl up, let it slowly come down, and then flex those triceps, and go again. So yeah, that's it. So another tricep exercise I do really frequently is the tricep pushdown. So it's when you're at the straight bar, and you want to set it at the very top height. So when you're doing this, I like to think of activating my triceps. I think this is good too for many people. You want to think of pushing with your palms. So don't think of pushing with like your hands. I really like using a thumbless grip. So put it over and it will really emphasize you using your triceps because you're gonna think of pushing with your palm rather than like maybe like doing some weird movement downwards. So I like putting my thumb over. You wanna get into a position where your butt's sort of sticking out. Yeah, you don't want that rounded back because then you might force the movement down like I'm showing here. So yeah, you get into that strong position, and then when you're doing the reps, you want to make sure that those elbows are close to your side, and then your elbows stay in the same place. You let it slowly come up all the way up there so you feel the full stretch in your triceps. Yep, and then you go back down again. So just focus on that stretch and that control when it's coming up. The weight will go up with time. Another bicep exercise, cable curls. These are really good for keeping tension on your bicep, and you're gonna find yourself really like having to lower the weight from like what you usually do on curls. But the way I like to set them up is I actually do these ones unilaterally. So I start on one side and then I go to the other. So you set it at the very bottom of cable height, and you grab it with your hand. And then when you're going into the position, make sure that your same leg is gonna be back with an arm that's curling, like I'm showing here. And then just get into a position. You can have the elbow either behind you or right by your side. Just make sure it stays in the same position. Curl, let it slowly come down. Remember to flex the tricep at the bottom to make sure your arm's fully straightened. And then you get ready for the next rep. All right guys, more triceps. Well, I mean, you guys asked for arms, so this sort of makes sense. So this one's a rope overhead extension, and it honestly sort of mimics the path of, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but it's like where people have like a one dumbbell and it's like over their head and they extend it. I just think this is a safer variation, and it's a variation that keeps tension on your triceps the entire time. So I'd recommend doing it with a cable all the time rather than with a dumbbell. Unless if you just like using the dumbbell, that's fine too. So you want to again set it at the top position. I like setting it at the top position for this one, and then you lean forward. So grab the weight. So you want to get into the lunge position I'm about to show you here. You want to make sure that your elbows are close to your head so you don't flare them for joint health, and then just emphasize the stretch as it comes back. And when you're pressing it, make sure you're trying to pull the rope apart rather than just straight forward. Okay, unilateral tricep push down. This is good for if you have muscle imbalances / you just want to isolate one side before the other. So the way you want to do it is you want to use ropes. You want to push it so that this is at the end of one of the balls, and then you want to put it again at the top position for like most tricep exercises. You want to hold towards the top, and then get back into that same position. So stick your butt out, keep your elbow sort of down a little bit in front of your torso, not like too much like this, so keep it around here. You want to extend, slowly let it come up, back up. Again, relax, think of relaxing your upper body to let it feel that full stretch, and then go down again. So again, relax, relax, relax. Still control the weight, so you should feel your upper shoulder sort of relax as it comes up, and then you push down again. You want to hold on to the machine for support, and it'll make the movement more stable, and it won't take away like the tension from your tricep. All right guys, I'll show you another variation I actually like doing for biceps that's for burnout. So you can also do these for working sets as well. Just pick like a comfortable rep range and then work your way up from there. So you want to find some kind of bench. You can use a preacher curl bench or even a lat pull down one like I found here. You want to set it so that seat sort of supports your arm like this. Lean back a little bit into it. Once you get into it, if you lean back here, curl it. Make sure your elbows always back against the pad. Slowly let it come down. Again, flex your tricep at this bottom position to make sure that your arm's straightened. And at the top, you can think of pulling your pinky in. And when I say pulling my pinky in, I'll just show it like closer so people can see the difference. It's sort of like, if this is your neutral position, this is just the slight tilt I'm talking about. It's literally just this. So this is like without, okay, it might not be as obvious with this example, but when you pull your pinky in, you'll feel it more. Okay, last thing is just sitting hammer curls. I'm just gonna do it on the same bench that I found previously. So these, the cue you wanna sort of think of, other than like just like the regular form, keep your elbows in the whole time to really slow it down on the way. Is that actually, so if you remember from the previous tip, I said you want to tilt your pinky in. So since this is a neutral grip, when you're coming up, you want to actually think of tilting your pinky down. So you don't want to be all the way up here. You want to think of tilting your pinky down. So you see how it changes the weight differently? Again, you can see that much like the other curls, you really want to go slow on the eccentric or on the way down, and then flex the tricep when it's straight, and then go again. Alright guys, I am back from the gym. Hopefully me walking you guys through some of the exercises I do were helpful. I think I left out one thing that was sort of crucial for curls. So I talk about like that pinky curl, right? Like at the top of the rep for a curl. So a good way of actually making sure you are doing it is that you hold, like, let's pretend this banana is a dumbbell, so there's weights on each side. You hold it near with your thumb being at the top end of it. So naturally when you go to curl it, right, you'll feel more of an imbalance in weight on this side, right? So you're naturally gonna try and correct it by curling your pinky in. So just by holding it this way, you might not even have to think about it anymore, but you'll be curling like your pinky in a little bit to feel that full contraction in your bicep. So yeah, I think I'll use the rest of this portion to talk about like training philosophy, and also like specific sets and reps, I guess, since you guys have asked. So for sets and reps for arms, I do 3x15 for a month, 3x12 for a month, and 3x10 for a month. And then I'll just choose an exercise out of all of them for like the 3x15 month, and then I'll choose another one for the 3x12 month, 3x10 month. You can honestly stick with the same exercise too if you just really love that one. As long as you're changing the rep scheme with time, that's good, because like something called periodization also just like keeps things fresh, so it's nice. But yeah, the way I progressively overload personally is if I'm able to do that like 3x15 set like cleanly with good form, then I'll move up in weight next time. So next time, let's say this time I only did like 15 pounds for 3x15. If I was able to do that with clean form for like bicep curls, the next time I'll do 20. And I think this really keeps you accountable for pushing yourself each time and making sure you're like progressing. In terms of maybe you're just not seeing growth, I think a problem really is sometimes you just have to like really push yourself. Like some people really limit themselves in terms of what they think like true failure is, but I think Greg Doucette, he gave a good guideline for what failure is. It's like if someone were to pay you like $1 million or something, if you for each rep you did after what you considered done, like how much money would you get? It's like if you say anything other than $0 when you said you were at true failure, then that's not true failure. Like even if you try the hardest, like with decent form, you should not be able to get the rep or like the weight up at all. So yeah, with that training style, you usually have like some ugly ass faces, but I mean, it's the gym, bro. That's like what it's for. So yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, just leave them down in the comments and like I'll answer them. And let me know if like you want me to do this with like other muscle groups as well, because I think I've learned some things with those, and I can definitely go into more detail about how I train, but I think this was enough for this video. Yeah.